Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Welcome back to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with me, Karl Fitzpatrick. Well, as many businesses are set to reopen their doors on Monday as part of Phase 2 of the easing of restrictions, my next guest, Thomas McDonald from the Wexford Car Centre, joins me now to share his experience of reopening their business in Phase 1 on the 18th of May. Thomas, you are the sales manager for the Wexford Car Centre, which is the main dealer for Nissan and Kia in Wexford. But before the COVID-19 pandemic, how was 2020 shaping up for the business?
Hi, Karl. Thanks for having me on the show. It had all the signs of being a very, very good year. Sales were up, both on new and used cars. Workshop business was really good. So it looked like it was going to be a fantastic year.
So once the news had broke that the country was going to go into a lockdown, what changes did you make in order to be able to continue the business, even though the doors were closed?
To adapt on the sales side of things, we moved to strengthen our online presence, and we diverted all the emails and calls to one central number so we could react to the calls and inquiries quite quickly. Then we used video, digital and online appraisal and online ordering.
And did you have much interest from people looking to purchase cars during the lockdown?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of interest, and we found that the inquiries came from nationally rather than just locally. And we kind of utilised tow truck delivery and stuff like that, so the customer didn't have to leave their area. We were able to get the car to them.
And were you doing car appraisals during that process online?
Yes, we adapted, and we signed up to a new system called Ventivid Video. So we use that for the videos of the cars themselves. And then when a customer had their own car, we used WhatsApp Business, and we got them to send us photographs of their car and the details, and we were able to appraise it fairly accurately from there.
How did it turn out when you actually got to see the trade-in when it arrived on your forecourt?
It worked very well, and the customers gave us an honest appraisal on their car, and then we can give them a realistic price. And it worked out so well, we continue doing it. It's going to be part of the business going forward.
And once the roadmap then was announced and it was clear from it that you could reopen from the 18th of May, what steps did you take in order to be able to comply with the Return to Work Safely protocol?
So all the customer areas were the first place we worked on, so the showrooms, waiting areas, stuff like that. So we put in all the social distance markings, and we put in the sanitising stations. We have daily clean, full clean of the premise, and we had staff training then, so the staff understand how to deal with customers in this situation. All the desks have dividers on them now, so the customer's at a safe distance. And then we brought in things such as unaccompanied test drives as part of the process.
And what level of investment did the Wexford Car Centre need to make in order to comply?
We would have spent several thousand between adapting the desks and changing the way we did everything. But it was essential. We had to get back in business, to as normal as we could be.
But what about behind the scenes in the service area? What had to change there?
Service-wise, again, staff safety and customer safety is the priority with the business. So now when a car comes to us, it's thoroughly sanitised before it's returned to the customer. The service technicians all wear the PPE, and they're conscious of what they're doing, minimum amount of touch, but the cars then are safe before they're delivered back to the customer. The keys are delivered to the customer in a Ziploc, so everything is as safe as it could possibly be.
And since you reopened your doors on May 18th, how has business been for the Wexford Car Centre?
It's been very good. Customers have been very loyal, and they're back out, they're buying, they're back out getting their cars serviced. So all through the business, it's been good. It's been very, very good. With the service end of it, we've also brought in that, for customers, we'll collect and we'll deliver, so they don't have to be in the garage, they don't have to be at risk.
And do you expect this initial demand to level off over the coming weeks or to continue on for the rest of the year?
We're hopeful that it will continue on. The supply of new cars can be a little bit tight this year, and that will likewise carry in. We've missed 3 months of the selling period, the volumes that should be there. So there might be a slight scarcity of used cars, but we'll work around that.
And in terms of your interactions with customers over the past few weeks, how would you gauge their attitude to spending at the moment?
People are cautious but realistic, and they do realise that there's very, very good value in the market at the moment, and their local dealers are the place to work. That's where they'll get the deals.
And how has the business of selling cars changed over the past couple of months?
Much, much more focus on working online, reacting to customer inquiries quickly. If somebody contacts us at 10:45 in the evening, we will respond to them at that stage. It's not a case of leave something sit till the next day. People do expect, and they like the fact that you're there and you're interested, and it's not a computer coming back to them, it's a person coming back with the information they need.
And in terms of preferences, what seems to be the number one preference in terms of how your customers now want to engage with you? Is it through WhatsApp? Is it through social media or through email?
Emails, direct inquiries, from our own website or from the online platforms that we use. That's the majority. And then your normal phone and your WhatsApp to play a big part as well.
Now with Phase 2 of Reopening Ireland set to commence on Monday, what has been the biggest challenge that you've encountered working within a socially distant environment, Thomas?
I suppose, meeting customers that want to travel. So we have customers that want to come from Dublin or Cork, and up to now they've been uncomfortable to do that. So we've been trying to work around it, but with Phase 2 now, hopefully we'll be able to start working a little bit further from home.
And looking ahead, the motor industry has been battling against imports and declining sales for a number of years now. But what is your outlook for the car sales industry over the next 12 months?
It's going to be a tough year, but I think all the major brands will come through it, and everyone has to adapt to probably 50-50. Like before, probably 80% of the business we did was the customer was sitting in front of you and you were dealing with the customer face to face. Now, at least 50% of it will be done online from start to finish, in the sense of the inquiry, the pricing, the finance, the actual delivery of the car to the customer. There are going to be people that just don't want to risk coming into a business, and also they'll feel they don't need to go into a business.
And Thomas, you of course in the Wexford Car Centre are the authorised franchise dealer for both Nissan and Kia here in Wexford. What support have you got from both of those franchises?
Both of the franchises have been very proactive. So, giving us guidance on the protocols that we should take, even adapting to things like all our meetings now, where reps used to come to us, now it's Zoom or something like, it's meetings online. But they've supported us, with stocking plans. So, the support from the franchise holders has been good.
And broadly, are people showing more interest in electric cars now, or are they still favouring the petrol or diesel models?
Electric is building, and it's continuing to build, but just it still has an expensive entry point, so the petrol and the diesel are going to be there for another good while. And
are there any particular supports that the government could introduce to incentivise car sales here in Ireland?
They could bring in a scrappage scheme or something like that. It would be a help. The incentives towards moving the people towards the electric vehicles, it's a good plan.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Thomas McDonald from the Wexford Car Centre, and I would like to thank Thomas for joining me on this morning's show.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast.